my point in the tough recession, yeah, you would expect the market another 20 to 30%.
Hey guys, just back with another market analysis today.
For all of us who have to worry about risk,
Let's have
plan for those things.
let's have the I have Bloomberg going on in the little screen as well on my TV. So yeah, today there was lots of movement in the New York session. We had the CPI report come back bullish.
Sure. Well, we've been very busy. I think in this
So
market,
CPI, core CPI month on month
opportunities we're really running toward,
and year on year were both
in the case of tactical opportunities, things like
both bullish, showing that inflation
where institutional investors have been big sellers, while at the same time retail
from
investors have
a
held
month
onto
on
stocks,
month
creating
perspective,
distortions in value that present arbitrages.
inflation was the
In
same,
the second case, in terms of
but from an expected perspective, it was a little bit
world of kind of growth equity and venture
more inflationary.
is in the middle of great changes, and that provides new opportunities for kind of what I call growth credit, providing forms of rescue finance.
For the CPI year on year, we had inflation come down from the previous amount compared to last year. So that's showing that perhaps inflation is slowly going down.
With regard to things that are coming along in the future, really leverage finance, ABS, mortgages.
From an expected point of view, we had inflation slightly greater, which might have caused that spike. And we had bearish jobless claims to finish off the day with strong with the strong volatility news, the high volatility news.
Well, I think we've had for the last 14 years a tremendous bull market in growth.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that has fueled the development of businesses that really have no prospects of actually creating EBIT.
So the news came out at 8:30.
Are very good businesses that
I think this is Eastern time.
Sacrifice profitability in order to drive revenue
I
growth,
believe
drive success of
it is Eastern time. I'll just change it back to my time zone.
A number of those businesses are retrenching. They're good businesses, but they need to cut OPEX and HR expense in order to kind of revert toward profitability. And many of them are willing to basically pay very, very high rates in order to avoid.
So that that was today at 5:30 in the morning.
What is currently known as direct lending and what we would call distress or special situations.
So all the news came out at the same time, so that's kind of that can cause kind of like, well, some news is bullish for the dollar, some news is bearish, so that kind of caused that effect, it looked like.
But considering you're finding opportunities here, are the cracks starting to merge? And when they do finally emerge, how?
So that's the economic news. So around
Well, you're right. People frequently don't recognize losses until the NAV statement shows
2 in the morning we had the spike, and then 6 in the morning we had the dump. There was a signal given on the MACD showing some bearishness. That was pretty much the trade of the day. So it's nice to be trading during that time, or have a bot that's on during that time. Euro and pound didn't do much. Nothing's really happening right now as well.
Mark to market are somehow up. That's not possible. And so what that means is there's this tremendous.
Well, they did. They just kind of continued up.
And we see that not only among allocators at many times, but also among the large-scale participants in leveraged finance.
No signals on the MACD though showing any bearishness.
There's a positive cash flow there.
Till about now, perhaps.
Duck and dodge and move around to try to avoid the reality of really paying the bill.
Well, somebody's got to pay the bill in the end anyway. And it's interesting when you're talking about mark to market. In 1994, if you had a lot of put options written on bond option strategies to yield enhance, you get caught with your
So it looks like USD JPY did have the short as well today. Nothing happening right now again. the majors, foreign exchange majors are pretty much flat again during this time.
What are we not talking about in Europe that we should be talking about in terms of opportunities?
So perhaps tomorrow morning we'll see some.
Of our lives if we want to. Where are the opportunities?
Well, we're pursuing various forms of special situation and distress that are in.
So what's happening tomorrow?
A lot of that is really still a hangover from the GFC originally.
In economic news, we have
opportunities arising as the CRE markets start to
core
adjust to
retail
the realities of a
sales.
post-COVID world. We're also looking at the notion of various forms of subprime finance. Europe has been incredibly
For the U.S.,
enable subprime customers
previous
to
negative
access
0.3%, expected negative 0.1%. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we have retail sales as well.
Things like litigation finance and royalties and things of
And
that
that's
sort.
about it.
And then finally, on the public markets, there's quite
So
a bit of
news
opportunity at various
early in
forms
the
of
morning,
private
for me at
convertible
least.
issuances and things of that sort. So lots to do, and even more coming as a lot of this kind
Wouldn't
of
really matter.
direct lending and leverage finance starts to occur
For
as well.
my kind of trading wouldn't really matter until that 6 o'clock candle because I'm trading the 4 hour. So I kind of look at the opening of the candle. That's kind of how my strategy works. It takes the current values and then compares them to the opening of the candle. So I only really need to be looking at when the 4 hours the candle opens. Usually tells you right away. So if you're trading the 2 or 1 hour, you may have to be looking more around the clock more. This is kind of nice though this way because you just have to look at like 6 times a day if you really need to.
A lot of people use the word things are going to break, things are breaking, what's breaking.
The day open usually it always has a crappy spread, so that one's usually out. Unless you can catch it within like an hour later or something. I had a time filter on the bot I was making. It didn't really start until it delayed an hour to start.
Energy crisis, FCON tightening. It is this confluence.
So yeah, that's about it. That's for foreign exchange, perhaps for stocks.
I would agree it's not a Lehman moment per se.
If the dollar is bullish, stocks would probably be bearish. If the dollar's bearish, stocks would probably be bullish.
We have a combination of really irresponsible monetary policy that occurred since QE2 in 2012, and it's going to take an enormous number of rate rises to start to kind of deal with that. At the same time,
So
you have government spending that's literally out of control.
let's just see what Bitcoin's doing.
And whenever you see significant inflation, you're going to see things like panics and stagflation and other kind of more difficult things that take a long time to work out.
Perhaps a short would be nice here, but no signal right now.
CEO and CIO of Arena Investors. Our guest this morning on the Markets Great Conversation coming up.
Perhaps later on in the next candle.
Including the IMF's Dieter Gopal, the German Finance Minister Christian Lindner, and the Governor of the Bank of Portugal, Mario Centeno, along with Deutsche Bundesbank's
Excuse me.
right here.
Nasdaq futures. Quite a bullish move there. So pretty much the whole market moved at the same time today. That can happen. Like big moves on the dollar in the market, and the stock indexes can all happen around the same time during big high volatility news like that. So flat right now. Oil was down to 84.
There's more activity in the fusion world than ever.
Maybe 3 till 7 in the morning my time, and then it looks like it had a spike up after that. Oh, there was a crude oil inventory report today. Maybe I'll just go over that.
That's going to allow us to get to net zero targets. It's one of the hardest but most rewarding problems that humanity can work on. Ultimately, we all want.
So I'll make these formal videos later on, like how to read an oil report and all that.
As quickly as possible.
frankly, the scale of the challenge, 3,000 gigawatts of fossil fuel to replace, there's not many things that can do that. In fact, there may only be fusion that can really do that.
It looks like
And while many in the
oil prices
scientific
were
community
bearish.
predict
Sorry, the
fusion
inventory
power
report
will
was
take
bearish today.
decades, some in the private fusion space
Looks
think
like
that just a few
there was a
years,
9.880 million crude barrel draw. So there's a 9.88
A multi-trillion-dollar industry.
9.888 or
What's happening in ETFs
880,000
like no one else. Bloomberg
barrels
ETF IQ. Monday on
and
Bloomberg.
that they drew today. From the previous amount, it was negative 1.356 million. So they were in a. Looks like they're in a deficit last week. This week they're in a surplus, showing that there was less demand and an increased supply in oil. The expected amount showed that it was much more higher than it was a much more higher than expected crude draw. It was a much more a higher than expected crude draw, but pretty much it was very much higher. Like, that's huge, almost 10 times what they expected. So that's good. That's could potentially cause oil prices to fundamentally decline if that continues. So that's good for gas prices to come down. So yeah, that's today. It's funny because OPEC Plus said they were trying to cut output production. They lied to Biden or something. The Saudi crown prince said he was going to cut supply, and then he went and he said he was going to not cut supply, and they went ahead and cut it. Those guys are thieves, man. That's what they do. They pretend like they're on your side, and then they just go and, like those Saudi oil ministers. Those guys are thieves, man. Those guys, they're like, they make all these moves and like invest probably all their money into the moves that they make. So it's all fixed. Those guys are like they're scams, they're cheats, and they try to manipulate everyone, even presidents and stuff like that. So that's what I think about them. I feel like they'll like try to add a surplus. No, sorry, they'll try to cut production, and then they'll long oil. That's like, those are the kind of people that they are, it seems. Well, the whole world's like facing problems with recession and stuff, and like world economies are falling out, but they're trying to make a profit on people's fallout and hardships. Anyways, that's the oil market today. S&P futures kind of flat right now too.
It's your Friday edition of Daybreak Europe with me, Manus Cranny in Dubai, and Danny Berger in London for the stories that set your agenda.
Like, why would they really want to cut production at a time like this? Like, when everyone's going into recession, every country's going into recession pretty much.
S&P 500 swings from a 2.4% loss to close 2.6% higher, torching market bears who sold in the wake of yesterday's CPI.
Perhaps we could see
Plus, UK tax U-turn. Prime
short
Minister Liz
soon
Truss
on
prepares
F.
to abandon key measures of her economic agenda.
XRP did end up getting a long
Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng races back from
the other day.
Washington, vowing to press ahead with his strategy.
Was it yesterday or the day before?
hasn't changed. I will come up with the
No signals right now though on the MACD.
October, as I said earlier.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
What I'm totally focused on is on delivering on the mini budget.
Hopefully we could see something tonight. A big dump or a spike. This is a huge candle though, like 100 pips in one candle. I think US CAD saw 300 pips in that, almost in that candle. Excuse me. Oh wow, that was the pound's biggest one-day move since 2020.
You're looking at dollar yen, spectacular mini intervention We'll get more from
So yeah, I'll just leave the
that,
TV
dollar
on
yen
for
at 30
maybe a minute or so.
euro. Nothing can stop the rot in dollar yen. Danny.
I mean, it's by one measure yesterday was the biggest whipsaw.
I like
the
to
biggest
watch Bloomberg
turnaround
when I can,
in U.S. equities since the
like when
data
I'm
started
watching the market. But I have
in
final
1990.
exams
But it
coming
doesn't
up,
end
so
there. The gains continue today, up more than 0.5% for S&P 500 futures. Nasdaq,
can't really
similar
watch it.
climbs, even bigger climbs for Euro Stocks 50 futures, which need to play a little bit of catch up with the U.S. and Manus. I mean, look at this turnaround in HS Tech. It has been getting crushed because of that chip story. It was up 5% just moments ago, but still nearly up that much at this point. All right, Manus, let's go back to the banking story. Not necessarily the U.S. banking story. We'll get there shortly, but it is all about Credit Suisse. Every day, I feel like we're getting a new story about what assets are up for sale and who might be interested.
Exactly.
Be nice to have your own
I think
hedge fund,
it's a
eh?
question of the quality of the interest. The red headline, the Bloomberg scoop, Mizuho are going to step into the fray here, and this is, of course, on the securitized products business. This is your world.
So yeah, London's going to be opening up in about,
Apollo, Centerbridge, Pimco,
I guess pre-market's already open,
might be just such a big fire sale
and then the
of
bell
Credit Suisse
starts at
assets
12
because it's
a.m. my
got
time,
value.
3 a.m. New York time.
Yeah, look, this is the kind of portfolio that a lot of these managers want to beef up. You're right, it is my world. You know what else is my world, Manus, which is potentially worrying for some of the U.S. banks and asset management divisions, is BlackRock. They reported assets that tumbled 16%. Yes, they did have inflows, but that also missed estimates. Might be a little bit of nervous news coming for the asset managers out there, given the damage we've seen in these markets.
Indeed. Well, let's carry on that conversation on the banks because, of course, it is the earnings season. Third quarter numbers are going to hit the tape. And what can we expect when those report, the financial results, hit today? We've got Citigroup, JP Morgan. They're the giants that report today. This set of earnings. And
Oh, so big banks are reporting earnings today. Could stir up the market too.
Towards the end of the year. Let's take it to Walter Todd, CIO for Greenwood Capital. Here we are. The NIMS is what has it, in theory.
Alright guys, I'll see you guys next time. If you guys like the channel, you can like and subscribe if you want. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.